Hi, Jo Ramsey here. Over the weekend, I saw a discussion on a forum I belong to um, where several people, including me, were trying to help someone deal with a situation in their life. And one of the posts that the person made said, "I'm bad at handling this." And I pointed out to her that by saying she was bad at handling it, she was kind of closing the door to the possibility that she might get better at handling it. Unfortunately, she saw that as me going off on her, and I had to stop answering in that thread. But it did inspire today's vlog as well as my blog post on my website, because sometimes the way that we think about things can make a difference. If you say, "I'm bad at such and such," or "I can't do that," or "I don't know how," you're putting the focus on yourself and your ability and your power in the situation. And because the focus that you're putting on it is negative, you're kind of closing the door to the possibility that you might be able to do it. Whereas if you say something like, "This is difficult for me," or "I haven't learned how to do this yet, but I can," or "This is something new and I don't quite understand, but I'm going to work on it," you're showing that you have power and control over it, and you're leaving the door open to actually succeeding. Now, that is a very simplistic explanation. It doesn't always work that way, I will admit. But when we think of something as something that we are not capable of, then we're pretty much guaranteeing that we won't be capable of it because we don't believe we can be. If we put the focus on what we're trying to do and acknowledge that, yeah, this is hard right now, but also say, "I know I can do it. I can't do it yet, but I can learn. This is difficult for me to handle, but I can do it." Saying something like that leaves the door open. It's acknowledging the possibility that maybe this situation will get easier. Maybe you will be able to learn whatever it is. I experienced that myself last fall when somebody handed me a bass guitar and said, "Here's your new hobby, learn how to play this," which I've talked about in previous vlogs. My first response was, "I can't learn to do this." My response after a few days of trying was, "I really suck and I'm never going to get better at this." And then I recognized what I was thinking, and I said, "Now wait a minute. It's only been a few days. I have never played a stringed instrument in my entire life. So yes, it is difficult right now, but I can learn." And as soon as I changed that thinking and acknowledged the possibility that I would get better at it, I started trying harder. I started believing in myself. It wasn't like magic words. It was, wait a minute, I'm going to say that I do have power over this, and I'm going to prove it. And within a few weeks, I could play 2 songs and had composed one of my own. If I had continued saying, "I can't do this, I suck," I probably would have ended up handing the bass back to the person who gave it to me within a day or two, and that would have been the end of it. Instead, 10 months, 11 months later, whatever it is, I've now composed half a dozen songs. I've recorded 2 with the help of the person that gave me the bass guitar, and I can play at least half a dozen cover songs. things I would not have been able to do had I continued thinking, I can't. So I'm not saying that just by changing how you think about something, you're magically going to be able to do it. It's not that simple. But I am saying if you look at it positively and think, this is not easy now, but I can get better at it, or I haven't learned this yet, or whatever, if you try to think of it and speak of it in positive ways that acknowledge that there's a possibility that you can do it, that you are able, then you're leaving the door open for yourself to actually try and actually accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. So I encourage you, if you're struggling with learning something new, if you're struggling with a situation in your life, say a breakup or a fight with a friend or something like that, try to think of it as, this is a difficult situation, but it won't always be, as opposed to, I can't handle this, I don't know, I can't. And, see if it helps. And I hope it does. And I will talk to you next week.